Welcome to 2020 Tuesday's New Hampshire edition. I'm your host, Luke Radel. This doesn't feel right, I'm sorry. Just 1 minute.
There we go. That's much better.
We started our New Hampshire journey at the Laconia Public Library with one of the lowest polling presidential candidates, Colorado Senator Michael Bennet.
Well, very often the answer is we wanted to blow the place up. And I say, congratulations. you have achieved your objective.
Bennett's big pitch to New Hampshire voters is that he'll be good for down-ballot races throughout the Democratic Party. But the big question is, can he get to the top of that ballot? Can he get the Democratic nomination? Well, I got to ask him.
Okay. Who else? Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, a lot of the ideas that you're talking about have to do with how good you are for down-ballot races. But I wanted to ask specifically, as we're moving forward in the primary process, how you get to the top of that ballot. What's your plan to secure the nomination and not get beat out by people who may not be as good down ballot for the party?
I have to do well in New Hampshire, and I've been here more than any other candidate. I had 33 town hall meetings here, and then I said, okay, I'm going to do another 50. And I announced that I was going to do 50 more town halls. Laconia is the 49th town hall, so here we are. And tomorrow in Manchester, I'm going to do the 50th with James Carville, who's coming up. He's endorsed me, and which I appreciate. And we are hoping that something really good happens over the next several days here as a result of all of those meetings, because I think, in all honesty, I've got to do well here. And I think we've got some momentum, we've had some great endorsements, and we've been making progress, so we'll see what happens. If it goes the other way, then we'll have to have a conversation about that for Tuesday, and I'll take your advice. Thank you.
I got a chance to talk to the Colorado Senator after the event, and he was nice enough to sign one of his campaign posters for me. But now I was off to another event with another 2020 hopeful who had staked all of her hopes on New Hampshire.
If you are sick and tired...
Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard was answering what was supposed to be her last question at a town hall in Somersworth, New Hampshire. Then she caught my eye.
Yes.
Where do you see a place for young people in our democracy as we move into this new era of our country?
How old are you, can I ask?
15.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Your place is right here. I remember when I was growing up in Hawaii, and I was really passionate about environmental issues in particular. I used to go and kind of organize my friends. We'd go and pick up trash off the beaches on the weekends, and I remember being frustrated by people who were just like, yeah, come on, you're just a kid. You're just a kid. Your voice doesn't really matter. I'm glad to see that more and more that's changing, that with so many platforms and social media and other things. What's your name? Luke. People like you, Luke, are, even if you're not old enough to vote, man, you're making an impact. And that's a beautiful thing. It gives me hope for our country and our future.
Hi, Tulsi, how are you?
Question, Luke.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Would you be able to sign this for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Oh, you've got one already. You come prepared. See, I had to scavenge around and ask for one, but I'll get that one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right.
I'll hold on to mine.
Oh, yes.
Keep going.
I got yours. Here we go.
There we go.
So that was our first day in New Hampshire, but early the next morning we were on our way to Concord, New Hampshire for MSNBC's Our Rights, Our Courts forum on abortion and the judicial branch. The first candidate out was former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Good morning, and thanks for the opportunity to join you and to discuss such an important, fundamental dimension of our democracy that sometimes passes out of view in the debates and the elections over our other two branches of government.
Buttigieg spoke for about a half an hour on the issue of abortion, and then when he stepped off stage, I was right there to shake his hand. Now, Mayor Pete was only the first candidate on the schedule. Next out was businessman Andrew Yang. So yeah, that selfie didn't entirely work out, although I did get plenty of other pictures with Andrew Yang, including after he got done speaking.
Awesome. All right, Andrew, let's try this again. Yes. Yeah, no problem. I'll see you tomorrow at your town hall at 9.
And I did end up seeing Yang that next morning and was able to talk to him and get a signed poster. After that, I saw my favorite presidential candidate, sarcasm, businessman Tom Steyer, and I got to take a picture with him as well.
Tom, can we get a picture? Thank you.
So yeah, I'm assuming he didn't see the video. Next was Vermont Senator and New Hampshire frontrunner Bernie Sanders, who I got to shake hands with after his speech.
Thank you, Bernie! Now be us!
So now we're about halfway through the forum, and next out onto the stage is Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Can I get one too, Senator? All right. Okay.
Senator Klobuchar spoke for much longer than any of the other candidates, and after she was done, she came down and signed one of the programs from the event. So now, Amy Klobuchar's signature is hanging on the walls of the elected set. Last up on our agenda for that forum was Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. As Warren came off the stage, we handed her one of her Dream Big Fight Hard posters to sign, as well as I was able to get one of her famous selfies. Later that evening, I attended the McIntyre Shaheen dinner, a big event filled with over 7,000 Democrats. I'm assuming none of them there to see Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick. But in the halls of this event, I got to run into South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg, where we were able to take a selfie. But on the last day of our trip, there was still one more candidate left to see.
We're here in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire for our final event of the weekend with former Vice President Joe Biden.
The former vice president spoke for almost an hour in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, and unlike some of the other rallies we went to, like Michael Bennet, Bernie Sanders, or Andrew Yang, Joe Biden's speech was not really policy-focused. It instead focused on his own personal anecdotes and stories that he had heard from along the trail. After each event, Joe sticks around and takes selfies and interacts with everyone who has come to the event, which I don't know if his staffers appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
Despite that, I did get my moment with Joe Biden.
So that's that, New Hampshire. You're pivotal in picking who could potentially be our next president of the United States, or who could lose badly to Donald Trump come next election. We'll find out who New Hampshire picks out of all the candidates that we saw in the next 2020 Tuesday.